Hey guys, I'm Erik Valind. I'm a lifestyle portrait photographer based out of New York City. I get asked to take pictures in all kinds of places. So having a kit that packs up really easy, is extremely versatile, and lightweight is important to me. We're going to do a classic 3-light portrait, and what's beautiful about it is I'm going to use all these Rogue Flashbender products that come in these tiny little packages that travel really easily, but when they break out, you have immense control as if you were using large strobes in a studio environment like this. And what I really want to focus on this video is showing you how you can take your standard black grids and get a nice halo effect back there, but I'm going to show you these newer white grids that give you something unique. They give you that beautiful circular halo behind your subject with a nice soft gradient so you see a little more of the color of the background and you get more of that glowing halo effect to really make your subject pop off the background. So for our first light, I'm going to use the Flashbender 2. Now this is the XL Pro, and what I love about the Flashbenders is all of this equipment breaks down in these tiny little bags that are easy to travel with, but when I set it up, I have a massive softbox like this. So the Flashbenders are great because they allow you to bend and bounce a lot of light, but when you use this diffusion material attachment, you turn this into a large softbox. And this is perfect as our main light because it's going to give us nice even coverage on our model's face, beautiful catch lights in both the eyes, and it's going to be nice and diffused too so we don't get any shiny hot spots. Now for our hair light, you don't want this light to be flying all over the place, contaminating your background and wrapping around the front of your subject's face. So I'm going to use a snoot here. This is great because I'm taking the Flashbender 2, the large size in this case, and I'm wrapping it up into this snoot so it focuses that beam of light only where I want it to go, specifically on her hair. Now they're really easy to position. You just get it all wrapped up, you have your model look towards the camera there, and you just hit the test button a couple times and you make sure you've got it dialed in precisely where you want to go. In this case, I might back it off just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. So now I've got that set up. I've got the beautiful hair light here separating her from the background, making her look more three-dimensional, really sculpting her out. And now we're going to go ahead and jump into our next light, which is going to be that background light. So what we need to do is we need to separate her from that background, and I want to do it in an interesting way. So this is where I'm going to use the Rogue grid. And the grids are great because, like the snoot, they focus that light, but they're going to give us a more perfect circle and a nice controlled gradient or fall off to that light. So it's going to give us a neat halo effect behind our subject's head. Where the black grid really excels is it has a nice focused narrow gradation there, so that transition from the highlight to the shadow is going to be pretty quick. Well, the beautiful thing is there's also a white grid. Now this is a really unique option because the white grid is going to allow us to get that same perfect circle, that same fall off from the highlight to the shadow, except it's going to give us a more gradual transition. Now that's great because it's going to give us a lot more light on our background and it's going to have a wider spread a little bit, so it's going to be able to have that beautiful vignette and still focus all the attention there and a more unique look and less focus than you might have out of the black grid. So if you're looking for something a little different and you still want that beautiful vignette and you don't want to have to do it in post-processing, then the white grid is going to be a great option. And now you have all the tools to take a unique portrait and to craft it just to your liking. All right, so we've got all 3 of our lights set up, and we've got our main light up here. We talked about that beautiful, soft, even light it's casting. Well, we're illuminating the face to light her, and we need to cast those shadows to sculpt her out and add that depth and dimension. The only thing is we don't want the shadows to get too dark because it can become distracting sometimes. So here's where we would bring in a reflector to bounce a little bit of that key light back in and fill up the shadows just a little bit. Now I could use a white reflector here, which would give me a nice soft fill, but it might not have enough output. I could use a silver reflector here, but that would be difficult because it's going to give us too much output, it's going to create its own shadows sometimes, and it's also going to be a little difficult to position because it's so directional. So what I have here is I have the 32-inch super soft silver reflector from Expo Imaging, and this is unique. I've never seen something like this. It mixes all the good qualities of the silver and the white to give us this nice, soft, non-directional fill light, but with the silver mixed in it, it gives us a little higher output too. So I'm going to bring this in and it's going to give us that perfect combination of fill and output to elevate those shadows and give us the nice balance from our highlight to our shadow here on our model's face. Another beautiful thing about that wider gradient, that bigger transition you get out of the white grids is it works wonderfully when you put it on a subject's face. So the grid is going to give us that nice, tight, focused light. On our background, it's going to give us that perfect halo effect. But when you bring it around and use it as a main light, you can really get dramatic images too. So I'm going to really quickly show you how we can swap this lighting setup around, get one of those film noir kind of old Hollywood style photos really quick and simple using the grids and specifically the new white grid inserts that give us that nice new transition. So we've got our Rogue grid here, and we're using the white grid inside of it to give us that nice perfect circle of focused light, but with the nice smooth larger transition than the black grids. And what this is going to do is focus the light right here on our subject's face and give us a nice fall off, a little more gradient, so it really goes to that nice deep dark shadows for this film noir Hollywood inspired image, but there's enough gradation there that we actually see her face and we get that definition still at the same time. Best of both worlds. Now we've got our hair light, it's still the snoot in the background, we're just leaving that there. And then we took our main light, it's the Rogue Flashbender 2 XL Pro, and we just moved it to the back and transitioned it here as a second hair light. So there we have it, we've got our beautiful 3-point lighting setup, and then I showed you how with our standard black grids we get that nice tight halo effect, and then I showed you how the new white grids are what really make it sing by giving us that perfect halo again, but with more gradation and a bigger transition, so you get brighter backgrounds with that same cool vignette effect. So thanks for tuning into the video. Make sure you check out the other videos in this channel because we also have a bunch of other lighting setups in too that I really think you'll enjoy.